It's nice to now be able to get on this, after I helped out with experiments for the Lisa mannequin and reading poems to the Lucy mannequin. You know, I wonder how long it has been without a normal video. Okay, that's definitely been a long time. I may need to make a fully new normal video after mostly Ask the Smashers and Requesto Rebootos. Let's make a video on that one Mime episode from Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi, why not? So, you like my new intro? I made this a long time ago, and I didn't get to use this until now. Anyways, hello my fellow smashers, I'm Powerpuff Smasher, here with a type of video I haven't done in a long time. Yeah, the last time I did a video like this was in a video where I looked at old videos back in the Mime fan channel, and as of me making this video, that video was made 7 months ago. And ever since then, I made like 3 small videos, 2 announcement videos, 6 Requesto Rebooto episodes, 5 Ask the Smasher episodes, and other stuff. Yeah, I may have focused more on Ask the Smasher and Requesto Rebooto, and that may still be the case, but hey, I got to do something different once in a while, which is basically this video. Anyways, today we're looking at a Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi episode, and if you don't know what Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi is, it's an obscure Cartoon Network show that stars the fictional versions of Ami and Yumi as they go on certain adventures together. This show is based off of the Japanese pop rock group, Puffy AmiYumi, which fun fact, they actually composed the original Teen Titans theme song. You know, the one Teen Titans show that most people like, and the episode we'll look at is called Trouble with Mimes, one reason being that I have an interest in mimes for some reason, to the point where my old channel was called Mime Fan 2020. Anyways, let's dive right into this episode, to see if it's good or not. But before the episode starts, we are greeted to a live action segment where Ami and Yumi are cooking in the kitchen. It's actually pretty charming, and it gives us a laugh before the main plot starts. We then get to the actual episode, where Ami, Yumi, and Kaz skip outside, in which we don't know why, and already, our mime Silence comes into the scene.
Why am I even here?
Kaz then gets angry at the mime, and then Silence just does a bicycle trick like it's none of his business.
Great! Bravo!
Silence then comes back, and proceeds to give Ami his business card, in which she reads his name, and then saying Mime.
Ami, you scare me sometimes.
What? Rubber mimes could be creepy for certain people if they're smiling all the time. Anyways, Sai then makes a tea sign, and Ami concludes that he's inviting them to tea at his house.
What house?
We then cut to everyone at Sai's invisible house, and...
What you say? That you only meant with
House.
Anyways again, as everyone besides Yumi is enjoying their tea, Ami asks Yumi to use her imagination, and she uses it to her advantage.
We actually have an imaginary appointment to get to. Imagine that.
Yumi then proceeds to get Kaz and Ami out of the house, and then Sai's invisible house breaks down. We then cut to the van, or is it some car combined with a van? Feel free to let me know about this. We then see Ami calling out Yumi for what she did, leading us to a scene with Kaz, with Sai following him. Ami questions what he is doing in the van, in which he silently explains that they walked right through his wall, which causes his house to fall apart.
You really scare me.
Ami then apologizes, in which she then comes up with an idea for Sai to stay with them until he can find new digs, in which he gladly accepts and gets his suitcase.
Why did you steal my suit?
We then cut to next morning, where Yumi watches TV, in which she sees Sai on it. She tries to change the channel, but Sai is the remote too, making her
how can Sai
question
be
why
in
he
2
is 2
places at
places
once?
at once, or 3 places at once, or 4 places at once.
Ah! Where did all these mimes come from?
Then 3 sis pop up, Yumi closes the door, and then it turns out the door was Sai too, and then he silently explains with unrelated stuff that they are his roommates, and, while it's not that much of issue, pretty much, why are they roommates? I mean, they look identical to Sai, and the episode doesn't explain that, nor where they come from. Oh yeah, Sai also silently mentioned that his roommates became homeless too. He then yet again uses unrelated stuff to silently explain that they want to make dinner for being hospitable to them after he apologizes, and then it cuts to the main characters being at the table, and
I'm not hungry, just a Waldorf salad and 3 steaks. Oh, and a diet soda.
how are you not hungry, and yet you still ask for food anyways? Ami and Yumi then take their orders, and Sai heads to the door, and comes back with their non-existent food, and as Ami and Kaz are enjoying them, Yumi no like their food. We then transition to a segment where Sai was everywhere, making them not want them in anymore, and then Ami comes up with an idea, and what idea is it? Simple, making Yumi and Kaz mimes.
We look like idiots.
Ami after she silences Yumi then mentions the mime code book, and then reads a rule that any mime who makes noise while in uniform must report to mime prison. After Yumi silently says meanie stuff, Ami proceeds to show the sis the rebuilt house, and Sai doesn't like it because it's shoddy workmanship, plus no rebuilt pool. Ami then silences Yumi again and reminds him of that one rule from the book, and right when Yumi is about to throw the mime code book, she gets reminded of the rule, and they get an idea. We then cut to Sai reading a magazine, and he gets a phone call, declines it, gets called again, and another Sai answers it, and then the same thing which causes all the sis to come in, and then the real Sai does this. Okay, this isn't what he says in the actual episode, but it would have been amazing to you guys. And so all the sis voices are exposed. Ami and Yumi find out they broke the mime code, and then all the sis head out to mime prison, and all's well that ends well, except for one thing.
Oh no! Sai forgot his suitcase!
And that was trouble with mimes. Now and with the small issues, with the first being that Kaz, who on the Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi Wikia is supposed to be the protagonist, doesn't do much in this episode. Sure, he does one thing here or there, but he's mostly here for the ride. Another issue is that it gets over rather quickly. The episode basically just starts, goes through its events quickly, and then it ends. Not that it's the worst thing ever, but still. But there are still positives to be seen, like with the jokes. They don't come up often, but they don't overstay their welcome, and most of the jokes pretty much land. Another positive is the characters and animation. The characters act as they're supposed to be, and the animation is passable by today's standards, and it makes certain designs like Ami and Yumi stand out. Like, with this scene with Ask the Smasher alone, you could recognize Ami and Yumi based on their hair colors. But overall, I find Trouble with Mimes a pretty good episode. It's not amazing by means, but it's a fun little episode that can give you a little charm. If you want to watch the episode, watch it on YouTube, since Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi isn't able to be purchased anywhere, and it isn't even on the HBO Max service. However, if there comes a point where the show comes to something like a streaming service, then that will be the preferred way to watch the episode, in order to support the creators. But yeah, that's all I can say about the episode for now. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications in order to get notified for future content. Feel free to also follow me on other platforms, and with that out of the way, Powerpuff Smasher, off and smashing.